Book number 4, Tower of Babel, Josiah Bancroft, Fall of the Tower of Babel. The Fall of Babel rather, babbling on. We are talking about the culmination of the Thomas Senlin saga Up the Tower and how fantastic that this particular book is and how much you should go out and finish this bad boy up. If you don't own all 4 of these books by the end of the year and you love fantasy or science fiction, you're doing yourself a disservice. So make sure that you go out and pick up all 4 of these books, because I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert right now. This finish of this story, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. One of the few things that I've given a 5 out of 5 on. Every single book of Josiah's got better as he went along. Okay? Poor guy was trapped in quarantine, wrote his story, fell in love with his characters. I fell in love with his characters, and here we are. They really grew on me. In fact, the first 150 pages of this book involve a character that I wish had died. I wished death upon this boy. And it turns out that Adam Boreas turns into one of the greatest gentlemen of history in the history of the Tower of Babel. He becomes one of the most important figures in the entire series. Okay? Thomas, by the time this is over, he goes through yet another metamorphosis in his career, circling all the way back to the beginning. And it's a treat. It's an absolute treat when you get there. I promise you. Okay? Let's go over the criteria that I use for these. How readable is it? This one is a 2 out of 5. That 2 is good. That's an easy book to read. Not painful. Nothing wrong. Prose and pacing and everything. Fantastic. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 is good. 1 is any simpleton could pick it up and read it. But, you got to be a little smart to pick up what Josiah's putting down. Secondly, we go over the characters. Like I said, the first 160 pages of this focus on Adam and what happened with Adam. We hadn't seen him in 2 books. Adam's been gone for 2 books. Now all of a sudden he's back. What's he up to? I'll tell you what he's up to. Making a way and a name for himself. Okay? Somebody out there's got his whole story. He wants to know what the hell's going on, and he finds out. And as a result, we get into some risky business. Saving kids, the whole 9 yards. Okay? Trying to practice having kids. Great stuff. But no smut. What a thought that you could write a relationship and not have smut. In this economy? I think not, but I think so. I know so, in fact, because that's what happened. That's how this worked. That's how it happened. Okay? Captain Edith Winters, another major focal point of this. Their pilot, which I didn't really mention in my review of the 3rd book, their pilot, Redelman, the Red Hand from book number 1, is a pivotal portion of this particular novel. Voletta, still absolutely love her. Still a huge pivotal portion of this. Iren, the Amazonian wonder, the big tall muscle. She comes out on top on this one. Finds herself some love as well. For those of you that haven't seen the review for number 3, go ahead and take a look at that and see what you think about it. But by the way, Maria is safe. She is on the State of Art with the rest of the crew. And we're on our way to find Thomas. Thomas is trapped in the Hod King, which it turns out wasn't a man, it was a beast. Okay? So the rescue is on. We're not rescuing Maria anymore. Now we need to go out and rescue the Dread Pirate himself. Thomas Senlin, the old headmaster, former dockmaster, former accountant, former spy, now a prisoner. What a wild ride for Thomas Sendlin. So characters, again, 4.5 out of 5. Absolutely love the development of the characters by the time we get to the 4th book, which is a whopper, by the way. It's 638 pages. So it's a bit of a trek up the tower to finish it. But once you get to the top, you are going to be so proud of finishing this series because you're going to wish that there was more. And there's not. Right at the end, it says what all books should: the end. Whenever I read to my kids, I joke as soon as I begin a chapter, I say, the end. And then by the time they've forgotten it and we got to the end of the chapter, I'll repeat it. The end. And they're like, is that the end of the story? No! But in this case, yes. Yes, it is. It is the end of the story, unfortunately. We aren't all winners. Sometimes our stories end. But this one is a winner. This story is an absolute winner. Look at this cover art. Look at this cover art. Luke Morat sitting upon his throne of the tower. Every single cover art evolved in such a beautiful way that I absolutely cannot wait to get my own copies of these books, because I will share this story with my children when they grow up. It is easy to read. It is not gruesome. It is not over-sexualized. It's not hyper-violent. It is in that vein of classical literature to where the prose is wonderful. The pacing is wonderful. The story itself is fantastic. The end of the story is mind-blowing, what the bricklayer and the Sphinx have been up to, the bricklayer specifically. Man alive, is there a man alive in here? And he's trapped, and we're going to find him. So, plot, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. The finish, 5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5 book. One of the few highest ratings that I'll give are to these two books right here. Okay? You will love the finish of this story if you have ever wanted to finish a story. Go out there and get it. I can't say enough about this. I'm all beaming about it. You should beam yourself to the library or the bookstore, or possibly through an ocean of PDFs. Find yourself a copy of the Tower of Babel series, all 4 of them. Check them all out. It's a slow burn in the beginning, but boy, do we catch fire at the end of this series. 4 books is not hard, okay? We're looking at 500 and something pages, 600 and something pages, 400 and something pages back before, and then about 300 and something pages. So that's what, 2,000 pages? Give or take? You can get through that. It's just under 2,000 pages. You can get through that kind of story if you've been reading a bunch of other garbage. Put the trash away. Pick up some gold. I promise you, you will enjoy it. Out.